Good evening. Welcome to the Masterclass. I'm glad you have the courage to be disliked and against all odds turn up in this session of ours. We are working our way through in the afterword of the book, and the philosopher and youth are coming to some kind of reconciliation in search of happiness. So, is the youth here?
What a love. Love, the thing that there is no need to speak of. You're saying that if I want to know the real Adler, I have to know about love?
You who can laugh at this word do not yet understand it. The love Adler speaks of is the harshest and the most courage testing task of all.
Oh, please. You're just going to recite some preachy talk about neighborly love. I don't want to hear that. Hear it.
Just now, you stated that you have reached a dead end in education, and I have a feeling of distrust for Adler. And then you are eager to tell me that you are denouncing Adler and that you don't want me to talk about him anymore either. Why are you so upset? I suppose you felt that Adler's ideas are something like magic, as if you could just wave a wand and without further ado, all your wishes would be granted. If that is the case, you should give up on Adler and you should give up the mistaken images of Adler that you have embraced and know the real Adler.
No, you are wrong. In the first place, I have never expected Adler to be magical or anything like that. And second, as I think you yourself once said, any person can be happy from this moment onward.
Before we be happy, we have to let Khushie in. So Khushie is not being able to walk into the classroom. Let's get happiness into the classroom. Please help someone help Khushie. Yes, I certainly did say that.
But aren't such words a perfect example of magic? You're warning people. Don't be fooled by that counterfeit money while pushing other counterfeit money. It's a classic swindler's trick.
Any person can be happy from this moment onwards. I hope we found Khushie. This is an undeniable fact, not magic or anything of the sort. You and everyone else can take steps towards happiness. But happiness is not something one can enjoy by staying where one is. One has to keep walking along the path one has embarked on. It is necessary to be clear on this point. You took the first step. You took a big step. And now, however, not only have you lost courage, but let your feet come to a halt. Are you trying to turn back? Do you know why?
You are saying I don't have patience?
No, you've not yet made the biggest choice in life, that's all.
The biggest choice in life? What do I have to choose?
I said it earlier, it is love.
Ah, you expect me to get that? Please don't try to escape into abstraction.
I am serious. The issues you are now experiencing all stem from the single word love. The issues you have with education and also the issue which life you should lead.
All right, this seems like something worth refuting. Now, before we get into a fully fledged discussion, there is one thing I would like to say. There is no doubt in my mind that you are a modern day Socrates. However, it is not his thought that I am referring to, but his crime.
Is crime?
Look, apparently, Socrates was sentenced to death on the suspicion of having tempted and corrupted the youth of the ancient Greek city state of Athens, right? He restrained his disciples who were appealing to him to escape from prison. And then drank a poisoned tea, and took leave of this world. It's interesting, isn't it? If you ask me, you who espouse the ideas of Adler here in this ancient capital are guilty of exactly the same crime. In other words, you are tempting and corrupting naive youth with deceitful words.
You are saying that you were taken in corrupted by Adler?
That is precisely why I resolved to visit once more to part ways with you. I don't want to create any more victims. Philosophically speaking, I must snuff the life out of you.
Well, then, it's going to be a long night.
But let's settle this tonight before daybreak. There is no need for me to keep calling on you after this. Will I climb the stairway of understanding? Or will I tear down that stairway of yours and abandon Adler once and for all? It will be one or the other. There is no in between.
All right, this may be our last dialogue. No, it seems we will have to make it our last, no matter what. Is Adlerian psychology a religion?
Before coming to the decision to visit you once more today, that is to say, before making the firm resolution to abandon Adler, I went through a great deal of distress. It troubled me more than you can imagine. That's how attractive Adler's ideas were to me. But the fact is that at the same time as I was attracted to them, I was harboring doubts all along. And those doubts concern the name Adlerian psychology itself.
Hmm, what do you mean?
As the name Adlerian psychology indicates, Adler's ideas are regarded as psychology. And as far as I am aware, psychology is essentially a science. When it comes to the opinions put forth by Adler, however, there are aspects that strike me as decidedly unscientific. Of course, as this is an area of study that deals with the psyche, it might not be completely expressible in mathematical form. That I understand perfectly well. But the problem you see is that Adler talks about people in terms of ideals. He's offering the same kind of glowing sermons that Christians do when they preach about neighborly love. Which brings to my first question. Do you think of Adlerian psychology as a science?
If you are speaking of a strict definition of science, that is to say, a science that has falsifiability, 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 then no, it is not. So, falsifiability is something you can falsify. Adler declared his psychology to be a science, but when he began talking about his concept of social feeling, many of his colleagues parted ways with him. Their judgment was much like yours. The sort of things isn't science. Just pause here. If we remember, we had with us Krista Campsall. Some of you may have met her. Krista, my guide inside that work which we did with her, where she talks of mind, consciousness, and thought. Now, when you look at what Krista is preaching or what Krista is practicing, is the antithesis of Adler. And when we started reading Adler, Krista decided that this is not the place for her to be. Now, the interesting bit about all this is, which I tell people, that the written work is a written work, it's literature. It doesn't believe that I'm a follower of Adler or I'm a follower of Krista. I'm not a follower of any belief, but I'm enjoying literature. And so often in today's world, we don't have the courage to be disliked. We don't have the courage to be standing up. And I don't know if someone noticed or not, I worked this morning to create a very short summary of where the book takes us and read the last line where it ends. Now, in this particular case, why I'm bringing that example right in the middle of our conversation It really doesn't matter what your belief is or what my belief is. As long as we enjoy each other, as long as we enjoy the literature, everyone is different. It's not about I am living the moment with mind, consciousness, and thought. That is the way Krista preaches. And that's exactly what happens here. Live the moment. So there is no difference. Yes, there is a way of going about it that this psychology is a particular, it doesn't believe in yesterday, it doesn't believe in tomorrow, it only believes in the present moment, which is very much the precept of Buddhism and which is what mind, consciousness, and thought is. So sometimes we create these interpersonal relationships, we create these challenges for our own self, and we are responsible for it, not the people around you. So this difference which Krista has with us in today's date, she's the one who created it. I didn't know it existed. As simple as that. And I'm sure Kunal will be smiling somewhere because there is something behind this message which he's got. Thank you, Kunal. Over to you.
Right. That's a natural response for anyone who is interested in psychology as a science.
This is an ongoing era of debate, but Freud's psychoanalysis, Jung's analytical psychology, and Adler's individual psychology all have aspects that come into conflict with such a definition of science, in that they do not have falsifiability. That this is a fact.
Okay, I see. I have brought my notebook with me today. I am going to get this down in writing. That strictly speaking, it's not science. Now, to my next question. 3 years ago, you referred to Adler's ideas as another philosophy. Did you not?
You are correct. I did, I think, of Adler's psychology as a way of thinking that follows as the same vein as Greek philosophy and is itself a philosophy. I think the same way about Adler himself. Before regarding him as a psychologist, I see him as a philosopher. He's a philosopher who put his expertise to practical use in clinical settings. This is my perception.
All right. So here's my main point. I thought hard about Adler's ideas and I really put them into practice. I wasn't skeptical about them. Rather, it was as if those ideas filled me with a feverish passion, and I believed in them with all my heart. The thing is, whenever I have tried to practice Adler's ideas in an educational setting, the opposition has been overwhelming. I have been opposed not only by the students, but by the other teachers around me. But if you think about it, that makes sense. Because I was presenting an approach to education based on a value system that is completely different from theirs and attempting to put it into practice there for the first time. And then I happened to recall a certain group of people and I superimposed their circumstances onto mine. Do you know who I am talking about?
Well, no, I don't. Who could it be?
The Catholic missionaries who forayed into the earthen lands during the Age of Discovery.
Ah,
Africa, Asia, and the Americas, those Catholic missionaries journeyed into strange lands where the languages, cultures, and even gods were different. And they went around, just a sec, and they went around espousing the teachings they believed in, just like me, who took my post to espouse the ideas of Adler. The missionaries, too, though they often succeeded in propagating their faith, also experienced oppression and were sometimes even executed by barbaric methods. One would think it common sense that such people would simply be turned away. But if so, how on earth could these missionaries have succeeded in preaching a new God to the inhabitants of the places they visited and making them give up their native beliefs? It must have been work of considerable difficulty. Craving to know more, I ran to the library.
but that's
Hey, I'm not finished, okay? So, while I was poring over various writings, Um, I think next page here. Next page. Next page. I think next. I'll start from your youth, then tell me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then tell me, what is the difference between the philosophy of Adler and religion?
The difference between religion and philosophy, this is an important theme. If you just rule out the existence of God and think about it, then the discussion will be easier to understand.
Ah, what do you mean?
With religion, philosophy, and science too, the point of departure is the same. Where do we come from? Where are we? And how should we live? Religion, philosophy, and science all start from these questions. In ancient Greece, there was no division between philosophy and science, and the Latin root of the word science is scientia, which simply means knowledge.
Fine. That's how science was back then. But I'm asking about philosophy and religion. What's the difference between them?
And this is interesting. It would probably be better to clarify their points of commonality first. Unlike science, which limits itself to objective fact finding, philosophy and religion also deal with human ideas of truth, good, and beauty. This is an extremely important point.
I know it is a philosophy and religion that delve into human psyche. But where then are the boundary lines and points of difference between the two? Is it just that single question of whether God exists?
No, the most important point of difference is the presence or absence of story. Religion explains the world by means of stories. This is interesting. Religion explains the world by means of stories. You could say that gods are the protagonists of the grand stories that religions use to explain the world. By contrast, philosophy rejects stories. It tries to explain the world by means of abstract concepts that have no protagonists.
Philosophy rejects stories?
Or think of it this way: in our search for truth, we are walking on a long pole that extends into darkness, doubting our common sense and engaging in continual self questioning. We just continue to walk on that pole without any idea of how far it may go. And then from out of darkness, one hears a voice from inside: nothing further lies ahead. Here is truth.
Uh,
So some people stop listening to their internal voice and stop walking. They jump down from the pole. Do they find truth there? I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But stopping in one steps and jumping off the pole midway is what I call religion. With philosophy, one keeps walking without end. It doesn't matter if gods are there or not.
then, this walking without end philosophy doesn't have any answers?
In the original Greek, philosophia has the meaning love of wisdom. In other words, philosophy is the study of the love of wisdom, and philosophers are lovers of wisdom. Conversely, one could say that if a person were to become a complete wise man who knows all there is to know, that person would no longer be a lover of wisdom, philosopher. In the words of Kant, the giant of modern philosophy, we cannot learn philosophy, we can only learn to philosophize.
To philosophize?
That's right, philosophy is more of a living attitude than a field of study. Religion may convey all under the name of God. It may convey an all knowing, almighty God and the teachings handed down by that God. This is a way of thinking that conflicts fundamentally with philosophy. And with someone who purports to know everything, or someone who has stopped in the path of knowing and thinking, regardless of their belief in the existence or non existence of God, or even the presence or absence of their faith. They are venturing into religion. This is my view on the matter.
In other words, you still don't know the answers.
No, I do not. The instant we feel that we know about a subject, we want to seek beyond it. I will always think about myself, other people, and the world. Therefore, I will not know without end.
That answer is philosophical too.
Socrates, in his dialogues with the self, described wise men known as the sophists, arriving at the following conclusion: I, Socrates, know that my knowledge is not complete. I know my own ignorance. The sophists, on the other hand, those who would be wise men, intend to understand everything and know nothing of their own ignorance. In this respect, my knowledge of my own ignorance, I am more of a wise man than they are. This is the context of Socrates' famous statement, I know that I know nothing.
Then, what can you, who have no answers and are ignorant, impart to me?
I will not depart. Let's think and walk together.
Ah, to the end of the pole without jumping off?
That's right. Keep inquiring and keep walking without limit.
You're so confident, even though you say that sophistry won't hold water. All right, I'm going to shake you down off that pole.
Please pre order your book. The Courage to Be Happy, the sequel to the global bestseller Courage to Be Disliked. The Japanese phenomena is applying 20th century psychology to contemporary dilemmas, continues with life changing advice on finding happiness. In The Courage to Be Happy, Ishiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga again distill their wisdom into simple yet profound advice to show us how we too can use 20th century psychological theory to find true happiness. On the courage to be disliked, the ideas proffered there will certainly make you think twice about the real cause of the emotional drama in your life. A thought provoking read, Meal on Sunday. So there are some other books which you may want to read. So they're just advertisements. Some good books to read. You may want to read them. And little reviews about the books which they've added. So what do we do? Put a bookmark here that we have finished the book. I think this was good fun. So do we continue to the edge of the pole? Are we going to find it? That's my question to everyone here. It's a time for reflection. It's a time for deep thought. Why did we read this book? Can anyone answer that question? Anyone?
For the courage to be disliked.
Courage to be disliked. Yeah, that's a fact. Actually, it takes courage to stand up for what you mean. And that's the whole beauty. So before I really start the new book with you and introduce it today, which was the whole idea today, we intentionally read Courage to be Disliked like walking along the pole. We read literally every word, every page of it, and we didn't want to complete it or didn't want to leave it incomplete either way. So I'm glad we are all here and we have the courage to be disliked. That is why we are here. We have the courage to be disliked by people कि हम यहाँ आके बैठे हैं अपने टाइम में वो स्क्रीन देख रहे हैं और हम कहते हैं कि screen time is difficult time. So I, on the other hand, said that yes, now screens become way of life. Let's make the best use of it. So I want to introduce two, three people today who have just come onto the journey. And as we pause on this volume before we search the next one, we need to give people time for a week to get copies of the book. Dinah, ma'am, you have the courage to be happy. Welcome aboard. I'm so
Yes,
happy.
sir.
I'm so happy you're joining us at a time where we are trying to be happy and not being disliked. So I hope you enjoyed the book and thank you for believing in us. I bow down to you for all you do and
Thank
we
you, sir.
respect you deeply. We hope that this journey of courage to be happy will give you life lessons which you can take to your community. And that is the idea of the masterclass. As I've said time and again, that the masterclass, we never take more than 25 people. So we only taken 21 this year. So people come and go. The recordings available. Everyone doesn't have to come to every session. So whenever you want to breathe, please come and join us. Thank you, Dana ma'am. By the
Thank
way, Dana ma'am, you have a minute to tell us who you are, what you do, so that the class knows.
right. Thank you, Sandeep sir, for this opportunity. I'm Diana from PYDS Learning Academy. I'm the principal there. It's been 2 years since I become the principal. Um, PYDS is a charitable organization. Work for the children of Uttarakhand, underprivileged children of Uttarakhand, and we have grade 1 to 12 CBSE affiliation. And yes, we are trying our best to bring some changes in the society. So, yeah.
You know, Dana ma'am, I'm willing to give scholarship to one person you may want to bring along to this masterclass. We have taken an
Great.
exception and we have admitted Khushie, we have admitted her as a scholar. Khushie, just tell Dina ma'am who you are and what you do.
Hi, good evening, ma'am.
Good
So I'm
evening.
Khushi. I'm Khushi from the Lotus Petal Foundation, which is in Haryana right now.
Yes.
So recently, when I attended the retreat of GSA, so there Sandeep Dutt invited me for the master class and gave me a scholarship to attend this beautiful and knowledgeable session that I'm joining with you guys and learning
Yeah.
so much from you all.
Wonderful. Thank
Which
you. Thank you.
state are you in?
What's
What is
up?
your class in school?
So I'm in eighth class right now.
So Dina ma'am, here is the youth who should have been reading with me in the book.
Yes,
And
yes,
our whole
sir.
idea in this class is to actually understand the mind of the youth. So if we don't have the youth here, how are we going to become the teachers to the youth? And that's why we took a call in the master class is to have some exceptional young people come in. See, because what happens in a classroom has silos. I've said this again and again. Everyone has to read the same book in the same time, in the same process, in the same pace. I'm tired of reading that book and the pace. I don't want to read it with you. I want to read with someone else. I want to read something else, but I don't want to read this. So, classroom just boxes you in and you can't learn. When we come here, we have the freedom. And when we come here, we have the courage. So, whole idea is to use this opportunity to do three things. Read, of course, but more than that, reflect. And as Khushi built up a relationship with us, we invited her. She's a scholar, by the way. So I'm sharing this with everyone that I'm happy to give one scholarship or one master class, even to PYDS, because I think this is important. Khushi is my future principal of Lotus Petal Foundation. And maybe you can also find someone who can become future principal. Kunal, by the way, has accompanied me from 2013. He was a student in the school I was in. So now he has become my boss. So he's teaching me. So, and this is the whole idea about the book. The biggest message which one takes away from Courage to be Disliked is about horizontal learning, is about interpersonal relationships. And our interpersonal relationships make us because they are the ones who cloud us with judgment. They are the ones we cloud us with misunderstandings or understandings. So if we can handle interpersonal relationships, which is one of the three R's of our philosophy at Good School Alliance, I think we become better to face the world. And that's the whole idea. So most of our programs are designed to make you world ready in two words, if I was to call that out. Similarly, like you did attend my afternoon session, today was a long day for me. So that session is also very similar in the sense, but it gives you practical classroom examples, while this book connects philosophy, world affairs, it connects the world outside the classroom. While the wanted backbencher last ranker teacher stays within the classroom. So you have macro and micro. So with the two, you combine to get a great experience on Saturdays. And that's why for us, Teachers Academy on Saturday is sacred. We have never ever in my last 15 years insisted on the Teachers Academy becoming large or crowded. There are times I've worked with 11 teachers in one school. We have also run Teachers Academy school specific. We ran the same book which we are doing this afternoon in 2024, by the way, in the Learning Forward Academy, and we had schools attend. So if you go on our blog, as there's new people here, and I also have with us Khushie, who was just mentioned, and then we have a new gentleman, Rudra, who has joined today. He's another new person who we want to introduce. But before we go that far, I think it's important for me to explain what the assets are and what we do. So let me just hop up quickly and open a tab. Yeah, so I'm sure you see my screen. So we are the Learning Forward India Foundation, and we've established the Good Schools Alliance. Our goal is very simple. Kunal, please read this. Diana, would you like to read it?
Yes, sir.
That's it. Read what's written on the screen.
Yes, sir. Good Schools Alliance. Our focus is on the 3 R's: reading, reflection, and relationships.
Period. Very simple. That's all we have on the website. There's nothing else. So that is the whole idea. If you go to more about us, you can find out the chairperson message. And I think for new people, this is important to read. It says, I'm very pleased how things have grown at GSA. It's been scaling and I'm really excited about it. The whole thought of giving it so close to my heart. I want to congratulate everyone associated with GSA and the power of GSA. So the basic idea behind what she says is the idea of seva. And that's why we are here, the joy of giving, because that joy of giving has to translate into joy of learning. There's a little letter from Dr. Manmohan Singh. Yeah, and this is the impact we found we've had. And when you do a fellowship and internship program, our focus is on these 6 C's. So what we will do is when you're doing an internship or fellowship with us, after 6 months, we'll give you this chart and we will say, okay, pick up critical thinking and fill up the box. So we will give, like I've written a few lines here, we'll remove those. So you'll have to fill these 6 boxes as to how you find critical thinking here. How do you find creativity here? How do you find collaboration here? How do you think you're better at communication? What do you think it has done for your character? And that's what makes a citizen. So this is the framework we use. Yes, we have special projects like PYDS. We have special projects like Lotus Petal Foundation. So a little intro I wanted to give you, and then I want to take you to one of our programs where we are. We are on the Teachers Academy program. So this is the Teachers Academy. The Teachers Academy is customized learning. So 3 p.m. we have a session called Learning Forward Saturday. That is customized learning where we are handling the challenges of a classroom. So if you go from here and you come here, this is the Teachers Academy output. So last week, we were doing a recap of Courage to be Disliked. So if you have missed anything from our session and you want connectivity, you can go replay this. When you replay this, you end up on our YouTube channel. So the little summary, takeaway, and what we discussed. Similarly, for today's session, summary, takeaway, what we are discussing will be here maybe by late tonight or early tomorrow. It depends how much of effort I can put in. My Saturday and Sundays are quite occupied because we get all the session notes, we get the videos. Thanks to the five AI agents who work with me. I have no employees, no staff in my organization. The studio you see behind me has no one. So all the technology we use to capture the content, and this content is then broadcast on YouTube. So from here, you can visit YouTube.
I would say
And you will come
the
here.
relationship.
So this is what last time session is. You end up at YouTube. So that's the resources. So you have the website, you have the blog, and you have the YouTube. And all I can say is, I hope you experience the joy of learning. So I've given the resources. Over to you, Rudra. Would you like to say something for a minute?
Sir, I don't have any prepared speech or something.
You don't need a speech. No one comes here with a speech.
Well, no, I'm a single father and I'm just here to learn and understand education. So it's a learning for me, and I also want to contribute in whatever way possible.
So I think that's exactly what we're doing. We all here together from various walks of life trying to discover the meaning of education. And I personally feel if you were to ask me what is education, it's freedom with responsibility. Three words: freedom with responsibility.
With
I
responsibility.
distilled it down to so simple. Eureka! Education is freedom with responsibility. You don't need a longer definition than this for education. Freedom first with responsibility. And courage to dislike gives you a freedom to stand up. It gives you a freedom to say what you want to say. It gives you a freedom to have the confidence, clarity, communication, collaboration. Because if you see Gurdeep in this book, it's a fantastic collaboration between the youth and the philosopher. You will see all your six C's come alive. Gurdeep, do you agree with me?
Yeah, totally agree.
See how
Whether,
the characters of how the
yeah.
character is framed with the dialogue. And this guy who was quite disillusioned from being a teacher goes back happier in the classroom, the youth. And that's the whole idea of reading this book, that we as teachers go back happier to the classrooms. Please share your happiness journey, Gurdeep, in 1 minute.
So, like my association with Masterclass, I think I started my journey with Masterclass 1 year back or 1.5 year back, and I have with Sir. I have read three books. I started with Show Me Das, The Man Who Saw Tomorrow. After that, we read Productive Failure. That was the fantastic book that we read, and now we are reading Courage to Be Disliked. And the whole journey, like it's very enriching. So every Saturday, yeah, these are the two books that Sir is showing on screen, and it's very enriching. So whatever we are learning here, we are trying to incorporate in our classrooms and as well as in our like personal lives as well. So it's a growth journey, and as the logo says, it's read and lead. So we are reading, we are reflecting, and then we are leading in our community. So all of us present here, whether Khushie of grade eighth class, everyone, all the educators, we are all are reading and leading our groups basically.
I think last word we should give to Manisha. Manisha, boss, you're the My Good School anchor. So before everyone goes, Dinah, Manisha is the My Good School Sunday anchor, without whom even Jugjeev sir can't work. So she's that important. So Manisha, over to you, the last minute before we go home.
Thank you so much, sir. And I just want to say that whatever I have become today is all because of my good school and you all. And you have actually praised me a lot, and I really don't know how to say something. Before, it's all because of my good school that I've changed. I have become something else, and it's all because of our 4S skill, service, sports, and study that we are taking a step ahead. And as we all are aware that 13th to 19th April, we are having the retreat. So please come and see what we are doing in the retreat. And since tomorrow is a Sunday, do come, Dinah ma'am, on Sunday. I'm waiting for your students to join so that they come on Sunday, they see, they learn something new, and they deliver a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. We have with us Minakshi, who is the host, who is the one who will host the retreat on the ground, and we have Kunal, who is championing the retreat. Kunal is the person who is really structuring the retreat. So first correction, the retreat is 13 to 17, not 13 to 19. You've lengthened it by 2 days, and Kunal will feel, "Ye kya ho gaya?" So, and second, I think Kunal has already pre-booked and sold the retreat. So, but we still we can't invite any more. Why? Because we are constrained by space capacity this year. Our campsite is under construction. So, this retreat is a short one, small one, with less numbers. But more important than that is we have a bigger retreat to make up for that. Because I'm sure with this retreat, we will have schools like Scindia and maybe others offering to host the retreats. That's all for now. For more, our website is always there. Thank you, Dinah. Thank you, Khushie. Thank you, Akanksha. You were so quiet today. Thank you, Minakshi. Thank you, Rudra. Thank you, the note takers who come by to help me. And thank you, Kunal, for being who you are. Gurdeep, all yours. No bookmark today.
Yeah, no bookmark today, and next week we'll be starting with Courage to be Happy. That is a sequel to this book.
You don't have to share anything today. The recording will be there. I'll edit it and put whatever I can from today's recording. But definitely, we are looking forward to being happy. That's what life is all about. It's being happy. Some years back, I opened a bookstore called Being Happy, by the way. It ran for 5 years and then I just stayed happy and the store went away. The name of the bookstore was Being Happy.
So
It
some of the great universities, they have this happiness curriculum in their university. So we are reading, I think, Courage to be Happy here.
happy. I said I opened a bookstore and named it Being Happy. I
Okay.
ran it for 5 years in Dehradun, just 200 meters away from our main bookshop.
Okay.
Just another one, just for fun's sake. So I do all these mad things. Anyway, that's me. So thank you all for hearing us out. Thank you, Rudra. I hope you enjoy it and welcome aboard. You've become part of our core group of the masterclass. And thank you for the small donations you make. So when Rudra contributes 3,000 rupees, that 3,000 rupees will be for a scholar from PYDS. So, Dinah ma'am,
Thank you.
we
Thank you so much.
have a scholar with the 3,000, but you have to send the nomination.
Yes. Yes.
Then the scholar and you can have a dialogue in school. Why I'm doing that, you've understood. So when you from this session, there will be a dialogue between the two of you. And maybe you can do this with your teachers and students. Whole idea is it's like a train the trainer. You know,
Right, right.
programs are designed like train the trainer. We want you to go back to your school and try and do those things. That's the whole idea about these sessions. So thank you again for the time and God bless everyone. I'm sorry about Anup sir's sad loss of his mother. I spoke to him this morning. I know he's a strong person and mom is mom, but he was happy that his mom went without any pain and with comfort in God's arms in just closing of the eyes. And that's what both of us shared. My mom also slept in the bed and went from home. In today's date, it's so fortunate to have great people like this. Imagine sleeping your head on the pillow and saying, thank you, no pain, no gain, all happiness. Well, that's the life. We wish you all. Please convey our condolences to Anup when he comes on all our behalf. The entire
Sure.
masterclass, the entire foundation, the entire GSA stands by him. And yes, let us know if we can be of any help. Looking forward to next week and your student joining us. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye bye.
Thank you.